Hey, I'm Kellen, and on this channel, I cheer you on for personal growth so that you can boldly live out the purpose of your life. So, I understand most of you liked the video about making sure that you don't climb the wrong wall. If you missed it, you can watch it right here. But the question that came up for most of you is, Kellen, how do I find the purpose of my life? And that is what we are going to talk about today in this video. So, how do you find the purpose of your life? Because, yes, you have greatness on the inside of you. You are made for a purpose, and that makes you extraordinary. That is why it's necessary to find it out, to become aware of it, and pursue it. So, this is really going to be simple. There is no gimmicks, there is no science. It's obvious knowledge. It's just that most of us can go through life missing it anyway, because life tends to make us focus so much on, survival and chasing money and overcoming our negative circumstances. But in spite of all those things, God made you for a reason, and He endowed you with everything that you need to see it through. And that is what actually makes life worthwhile, when you live out for the purpose of your life. So, how do you find it? Number one, you are going to pray. The God who made you is the one that knows what He made you for. It's like how Steve Jobs used to market Apple and all these OS products. He used to do it so well, if you listen to some of his speeches, because he's part of the creating process. So he knows the ins and out. So similarly to you as well, God knows the ins and out of who you are. So the number one step in finding your purpose is going to God and asking Him, God, what can I do with my life? It is a very simple prayer, very simple question to God. And He said, call unto me and I will answer you and show you mighty and great things. So He is very delighted to actually talk to you about what He made you for. It changed my life when I did it back in 2017. So, what will this prayer do anyway? It will give you direction. You know, it kind of brings up the desires about your assignment that somehow you would be avoiding, lost in the chaos of, rat racing and chasing this and that. I feel that that prayer, even in my life, kind of brought to the surface what really mattered. Like, what are my gifts? Okay, what is my one thing? What am I good at? What am I passionate to work on, or in which ways am I interested in serving others? That is what that prayer is going to do. I remember when I prayed that prayer, it kind of reconnected me, to my ability to share knowledge and write and speak. And this I had done before. I remember in high school, I was the program of a high school fellowship. And, I would prepare sermons or prepare people who are going to preach. And I would be writing out sometimes all these plays and stuff. But over time, I had really forgotten all about that in the rat racing. So praying that prayer brought back that to mind. And I'm like, okay, I can write, I can speak, I love teaching others, I love helping others grow in the word of God. And I have been building ever since. So that is number one, you're going to pray. And then when you pray, pay attention to what grows in you. Our God is not really complicated. Immediately, your desires will begin to change. You begin to, notice those skills that you have naturally that you've been neglecting. You begin noticing the things that you really want to be a part of, where you add value. That is what that prayer does. So, number three, actually, you're going to build capacity. You're going to develop your skills. You're going to go through a process of personal growth. And personal growth is just simply, you working to, get the mindset, get the discipline, become the person that can live out these dreams and goals. You're going to nurture these gifts. You're going to even maybe go to school. I remember I had to take speaking classes and writing classes. You're going to polish these gifts so that you're able to come up with things that are of tangible value when you use them. Without personal growth, your gift cannot really bring that value that it ought to bring. So you're going to become the person that can actually see through this. You're going to develop that discipline. You're going to even work on the relationships that are necessary for you seeing through this purpose of your life. You're going to sometimes even have to change your environment. Number 3, purpose involves service, responsibility, and growing through discomfort. It is said that faith without actions is dead. You cannot know that it's really the purpose of your life or it's really your gift without you putting some action to it. Step out on faith. Go and serve where those gifts are called for. It might be hard at the beginning because you're not yet perfect. But if you keep trying, you're going to grow in that discomfort. You're going to develop resilience. Don't give up on the first time of trying and things don't work out. When I first tried to author a book, I published it and, I sold a few copies here and there, but I had to not give up to even publish it and to go to publishing a second one and to now being able to do these podcasts. It's been a journey of continual acting on these dreams and goals. And again, I will emphasize, you might be wondering, why don't I just live life, just chasing money, just chasing survival? After you've got all those comforts in life, you still won't be satisfied if you're not using them to accomplish something of value, because you were wired to do great things. You were wired, you were created to give of your life something into the world, to actually make it a better place than you found it. So true fulfillment comes when we see through the purpose of our life, when we do that thing that makes us extraordinary. Most of us want recognition and being applauded, but people give that to someone that is giving value. And you find that in chasing a life of purpose. You're purposeful, you give value, and that is how you get the recognition and the being applauded and that just internal fulfillment that your life counts. Because yes, your life counts. So I hope that helps. Go ahead, find a quiet place, go in there with a journal and a pen and ask God, what can I do with my life? Write it down. We spoke about having a vision for your life. Set it as a vision in front of you so that when you're constantly focusing on it, you're constantly in creation mode of what you can do to become all those things. And don't forget to work on improving yourself, on developing the right habits, the right relationships, and the right attitude to see this through. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you in the next one.